boys and girls, Mrs. Houston here again. I'm going to teach you today how to classify sentences using pattern 2. So pattern 2 is using verbs that are transitive, so transitive verb, and direct objects, okay? That will make sense in just a minute. So first we're going to just classify our sentences like we normally do. First thing that we always do is we read the sentence. So it says, at the movies, Damon bought a large bag of popcorn with extra butter. Okay, so the first thing that I always have you do with some of these longer sentences is find prepositional phrases, because the nice thing about that is we can find the prepositional phrase and then get rid of it, okay? We don't actually get rid of it, but we can act like it's not there and then just work with the sentence that we have left over. So this is a great one to do that with, because you're going to notice there are a lot of prepositional phrases. So the first one I see is at is a preposition. So I'm going to put my parentheses, at what? At the movies. At is my preposition. Movies is my noun, so that's my object of the preposition. And then the is an article adjective. So we have that done already. Okay, the next prepositional phrase I see is of is a preposition. Of what? Of popcorn. So that's the noun that goes with it. So that's the object of the preposition, OP. I'm going to put my hug line or my parenthesis there. And then I have one more preposition that I see, the preposition with. So I'm going to label that for preposition, put my parenthesis with what? With extra butter. Butter is my noun. So I will put object of the preposition, OP, and then put my hug line with my parenthesis. Extra would be saying like what kind of butter? Extra butter. Or I guess what kind, which one, how many would maybe work too, or how much. So that will be an adjective describing the butter. Okay, how much or how many of the butter? How much of the butter, I guess, is what you'd really say. Okay, so now we don't have to look at our prepositional phrases anymore. So now let's look at the sentence that we're dealing with. We have Damon bought a large bag. Okay, that actually shortens our sentence quite a bit. So the first thing that we do is we find our subject noun. So we always ask the questions, who is the sentence about? What is the sentence about? The sentence is about Damon, so he is our subject noun, SN. Okay, now we need to find our verb. So what's being said about the subject? Damon bought. Bought is our verb. Okay, just like normal, it's an action verb. Now, the way we know it's pattern 2 is you are going to see there is going to be a noun after the verb. Okay, usually when we see nouns up to this point after the verb, it's going to be in a prepositional phrase. But this, a large bag, is not a prepositional phrase. There are no prepositions. So, this is going to be a transitive verb, a verb that is transitive. Now here's a great way to remember what transitive means. Transitive, you think of the word like transfer or transport. It's actually transitive means it's transferring its action to an object, to a noun, okay? So you would actually say bought what? Bought a bag. So it is a verb transitive because the word bought is transferring its action to the word bag, okay? So you'd actually ask bought what? So I'm even going to write that in there. I'm going to put what? Okay, bought what? Bought a bag. It's transferring its action. So bag is our direct object. It is directly receiving the action, and it is an object because it's a noun. Okay, so you actually will add bag to your noun chart now, because it is a direct object, and direct objects are always nouns, okay? Now, you know the difference between a verb just being a regular action verb and being a verb transitive, because the difference is a verb transitive will transfer the action to a noun coming after it. It will ask what, and there will be an answer. A regular action verb will just be, you'll just label it V, and then there will be no noun for it to transfer after, if that makes sense, okay? So we know this is a verb transitive because it's saying bought what? Bought a bag, okay? Now if we were to do the rest of the words, we know A is an article adjective, so we mark it with a capital A. And then large, remember, adjectives describe nouns, and we have a noun here because it's a direct object. So this is going to be an adjective that's modifying our noun. So we'd say, what kind of bag? A large bag. Adjective. A-D-J. Okay, we have all of our sentences, or all of our words, now classified. So we're going to just say that here we have a period, so it's period, statement, declarative sentence. Get that done. To divide our sentence between our complete subject and our complete predicate, it's the same as normal. We're going to split here. Here we have our subject. So all of this is our complete subject. So this is helping modify Damon. And then all of this, including our prepositional phrases at the end here, are classifying, are with our complete predicate. Bought a large bag of popcorn with extra butter. Okay, so the last thing now, this is what's different. I know you're so used to writing your pattern 1, SNV, line P1. This is where it's going to be different now. You're going to have to think before you write. You're going to write subject, noun, verb, transitive, so SNV-T, okay, just like we did here, verb, transitive. And then down here, you're going to write DOP2 for direct object, pattern 2, okay? So just make sure that while you're doing it, that while you do your pattern now, you have to think about it, that it is pattern 2. So you're going to write verb transitive, direct object on the bottom line, or below it, and then pattern 2. Okay, I also noticed I made a mistake because teachers always make mistakes. But at the movies, maybe you guys caught this. I hope you did at home. I was just testing you, right? But at the movies actually should be underlined twice, because this is part of our predicate. So bought at the movies, that's helping modify our verb, so it goes in our predicate. So really, our complete subject is only Damon. So sorry about that. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Otherwise, what you learned today is you learned about pattern 2, which is adding verbs that are transitive. Remember, transitive meaning transferring their action, and then they have to transfer it to something. So you've also learned about direct objects, which is the noun that comes after it that receives the action. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I hope this all makes sense. Miss you guys. Bye.